Transmigrating into a domineering CEO novel, I became the CEO of a multinational corporation, standing at 6'2", 28 years old, and already possessing a massive fortune, a true top-tier status. But the female leads of this world, every single one of them has such a bizarre mindset that it makes me question my very existence. My name is Gu Linyuan. I've been transmigrated into this domineering CEO novel for 3 months now. I just finished a meeting and returned to my office only to see the new cleaning lady standing next to my genuine leather chair, holding a rag but not doing any work, staring at me with burning eyes. Mr. Gu, even though I'm divorced and have 3 kids to take care of, I still believe in true love. It doesn't discriminate based on age or status. I set my documents down and looked at her expressionlessly. This woman, Lin Sufen, is 45 years old. She's only been working here for a week. Last week, when I was mopping the floor, you caught me when I slipped. I know you have feelings for me. She took a step forward, and the smell of cheap perfume hit me right in the face. I don't mind that you're 17 years younger than me. When love comes, you can't stop it, right? I pressed the intercom and called Secretary Wang. Call the head of the cleaning department up here. Mr. Gu, you don't have to hide it. A strong single mother like me is exactly the type that triggers the protective instincts of CEOs like you. That's how it's always written in novels. I almost laughed out of sheer frustration. She wasn't wrong. In the original story, this cleaning lady really is one of the female leads. According to the plot, I'm supposed to be drawn to her uniqueness, disregard societal norms to love her, and even help raise her 3 kids. Ms. Lin, I think you've misunderstood. I leaned back in my chair, my voice cold. First, I caught you because you almost knocked over my blue and white porcelain vase worth 600,000. Second, last week, you skipped work twice without reason, were late 3 times, and the cleanliness rating for your assigned area was the lowest on the entire floor. Finally, and most importantly, company policy strictly forbids workplace romance, especially between superiors and subordinates. You're fired. Lin Sufen's face instantly went pale. How could you do this? This isn't how it's written in the novels. A domineering CEO is supposed to fall in love with a strong, independent single mother. In real life, CEOs only fire underperforming employees. I nodded to Secretary Wang and Director Wang, who had just walked in. Settle her wages, give her an extra month's severance, and escort her out. As she was being dragged away, Lin Sufen was still screaming my name. Gu Lin Yuan. You'll regret this. You'll never meet another woman like me. After the door closed, the world was finally quiet again. Director Wang wiped his sweat. Mr. Gu, I'm so sorry. I didn't screen her properly during the hiring process. Make sure it doesn't happen again. I waved him off. Massaging my temples, I realized this was only the opening act for today. At 3 p.m., I finished work early and headed back to the villa. The moment I walked in, I heard the sound of things smashing on the 2nd floor. Butler Chen stepped forward, looking troubled. Young master, what's wrong with Ms. Su now? Ms. Su says she wants to move out. She claims you have ulterior motives toward her. Su Yuanting, 21 years old, a junior majoring in fine arts. She's one of the impoverished students, sponsored by my charity foundation. 2 months ago, her house burned down. With nowhere to go, the foundation temporarily arranged for her to stay in a guest room in my villa. According to the original plot, this was a long-planned scheme of mine to get close to her. I went upstairs and knocked on her door. A choked-up voice came from inside. Don't come in, I told you. I don't want to see you, Su Yuanting. This is my house. I pushed the door open and saw a complete mess everywhere. Vases were smashed, sketches were torn to shreds, and clothes were scattered all over the floor. Su Yuanting stood in the middle of the room, her hair a mess, her eyes red and swollen. She looked like she had been horribly bullied. The moment she saw me, she took 3 steps back and crossed her arms over her chest. Gu Lin Yuan, let me tell you something. I may be poor, but I have my pride. Don't think that just because you sponsor my education and let me stay here, you can do whatever you want with me. I'm not that kind of woman. I glanced around the room. So, you smashed my Qing Dynasty vase and tore up the painting that was about to be sent to an exhibition. Yuanting, that vase was worth 800,000, and your artwork was originally planned by the foundation to be auctioned off for charity. Her face turned pale, but she quickly forced herself to stay tough. Don't you dare try to use money to pressure me. I know all the tricks you rich people play. First, you pretend to be kind to get close, and then you force me to pay the price. I'd rather sleep on the streets than sell myself cheap. According to the original plot, at this moment, I was supposed to be moved by her noble character, find her even more special, and start pursuing her aggressively. But in reality, I just sighed and took out my phone. You! What are you doing? Calling the police. Intentional destruction of private property of an exceptionally large value. While I'm at it, I'll notify the foundation to terminate your sponsorship. We need students who know how to be grateful, not someone suffering from a persecution complex. What? You can't do that. I deserve those sponsorships. I'm so outstanding. It's only right that you sponsor me. Legal department, make a trip to the Gu Villa. Handle a case of intentional property damage. Yes, estimated value over 1,000,000. Su Yuanting finally panicked. Wait, Mr. Gu, I was just too emotional earlier. It's just that I was scared. A young girl like me. Staying here could easily attract gossips, so you destroyed my things. I'll give you 2 hours to pack your bags. The foundation will cover the rest of this semester's expenses that have already been paid, but as of today, your sponsorship is terminated. As for this vase, you either compensate me for its full value or we go to court. Take your pick. She collapsed to the floor and finally burst into tears. This time, she genuinely broke down. How could you be like this? It's not like this in the novels. The male lead is supposed to get even more interested after I reject him. I walked out of the room and instructed Butler Chen to keep an eye on her while she packed. Don't let her break anything else. 2 hours later, see her out. Just as I got downstairs, my phone rang. It was my mother. Lin Yuan, tomorrow night is your engagement party with the Shen family. Don't forget, the Shen family is taking this very seriously. They've invited half the business world. I remember, I replied, my heart completely undisturbed. Shen Qingli, my marriage of convenience partner, the heiress of the Shen group. This young lady has a senior from high school, whom she's secretly loved for years. Tomorrow just happens to be the day he returns to the country. Because of that, during the engagement party, she's going to run away right in front of everyone, leaving me and both our families completely humiliated. As for me, according to the script, I'm supposed to be heartbroken, yet understanding. I'm even supposed to help her block the Sheen family, chase after her and say something like, to love is to let go and give you freedom. My mother continued, the collaborative project with the Shen family is tied to the next 5 years of our corporation's development. Make sure nothing goes wrong this time. I hung up, a cold smirk tugging at the corner of my lips. Don't worry. This time, I'm absolutely not following the script. The next evening, at the Huan Hotel banquet hall, crystal chandeliers reflected a luxurious glow as the elite of high society gathered. Wearing a custom-tailored suit, I handled wave after wave of congratulations. Shen Qingli stood beside me, a fake smile plastered on her face, but her eyes kept darting toward the door. Nervous? She froze for a second, then shook her head. How could I be? That's good. I smiled knowingly. When the mech announced the start of the ceremony, the banquet hall doors were suddenly pushed open. A man dressed in casual clothes, looking travel-worn and dusty, barged in. Shen Qingli's expression changed instantly. She let go of my arm and took a step forward. Here it comes. The classic scene from the original novel. The white moonlight returns, and the female lead abandons her engagement for love. Qingli, I'm back. Come with me. Shen Qingli glanced at me with a complex look in her eyes, then turned around. Hold on, I spoke up calmly. The entire hall fell silent. Shen Qingli stopped in her tracks. The man also looked toward me. I took the microphone from the MC, my voice clear. Before Ms. Shen makes her choice, there are a few things everyone should know. I nodded to my assistant. The large screen suddenly lit up, displaying scanned documents and photos. This man is Zhu Jingming, Mrs. Shen's high school senior. 3 days ago, because of embezzling company funds. He was fired by the US branch. His visa expires this week. The credit cards under his name are maxed out with roughly 500,000 in debt. Zhu Jingming's face went stark white. You're talking nonsense. Do I need to contact your former employer in Silicon Valley? No? Or should I make public? Your bank statements. You rushed back to find Mrs. Shen. Because you knew she was getting engaged today. You wanted to grab onto your last lifeline, didn't you? Shen Qingli stared in shock at Zhu Jingming. Is what he's saying true, Qingli? Listen to me. I can explain there's more, Miss Shen. This true love you believe in was still living with his ex-girlfriend in San Francisco just last week. Want to see the hotel records? The photo displayed. Zhu Jingming with his arm around a blonde woman walking into an apartment. About 75 days ago. Shen Qingli stumbled back a step, all the color draining from her face. put the microphone down, and walked up to her, keeping my voice low enough for only the two of us to hear. "Do you still want to leave with him now?" She shook her head, tears falling down her cheeks. I turned back to the guests and picked up the microphone again. "It seems this was just a misunderstanding. No harm done. The engagement party will continue. Wait, Qingli, I love you. It's all a misunderstanding." I raised my hand to stop him and signaled the security guards. "Please escort this gentleman out. He's not on the guest list." As Zhu Jingming was dragged away, he was still calling out Shen Qingli's name. Shen's parents hurried over, their faces full of guilt. "Lin Yuan, we're so sorry. We had no idea. It's fine. Everyone has a past. So, let's proceed with the ring exchange." Shen Qingli's hands were trembling. I whispered, "Don't worry, our partnership won't be affected. Why aren't you angry? Business is business." I slipped the ring onto her finger. Feelings can be nurtured over time, but a good project waits for no one. According to the original plot, after Shen Qingli abandoned the engagement, I was supposed to wait for her devotedly and eventually move her heart. But right now, all I need is a suitable marriage partner. As for who she holds in her heart, that has nothing to do with me, as long as she doesn't humiliate me in public. I spent most of my time at the company. Shen Qingli called a few times, her tone cautious. I always used work as an excuse to end the conversation quickly. On Friday night, I finished processing the last document in my office. The intercom rang. "Mr. Gu, there's a Miss Chu here to see you. She says she's your high school classmate." Chu Yue, the vicious female supporting character in the original novel. In reality, she was the only normal female character. According to the plot, she had secretly loved me for years, but because of her ordinary background, she never dared to confess. She could only work hard in silence to get into my company, and eventually turned evil out of jealousy toward the female leads. Let her in. When Chu Yue walked in, she was holding a stack of documents. Dressed in a neat business suit, her hair tied back in a tidy, low ponytail, she wore a professional smile on her face. "Mr. Gu, this is the marketing plan for the second half of the year from the marketing department. Director Wang asked me to bring it up directly." I took the documents and skimmed through them. The details were thorough, the data clear, and a few creative points really stood out. I drafted most of it, and the team added some details. She answered, neither arrogant nor sycophantic. I remembered that in the original story, Chu Yue relied on her actual abilities to climb from an intern to the head of marketing. Compared to those female leads with their plot armor, she was much more capable. "Great job. Present this at the meeting next Monday." A hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. But she quickly regained her composure. "Yes, Mr. Gu." Just as she turned to leave, I called out to her, "Chu Yue. After graduating from high school, it seems we haven't kept in touch. Mr. Gu, you're busy with a million things. Ordinary classmates like us wouldn't dare bother you." "Ordinary classmates? Why do you always pigeonhole yourself like that? Even if you have feelings in your heart, you never say them out loud until love eventually turns into hate. There's a class reunion next Saturday. Are you going?" She froze. "I might have to work overtime. Come with me. It's been a while since I've seen our old classmates too." Chu Yue looked at me for a few seconds, then nodded. "All right." After she left, I stood by the glass window, looking out at the city lights. It's been 3 months since I came to this world. I'm finally starting to feel that maybe not all the female characters are unhinged. At least Chu Yue seems to have a brain. At the regular meeting, Chu Yue's performance was practically flawless. Her logic was clear, her delivery fluent. When faced with questions from the executives, she answered coherently. I saw several directors nodding in approval. After the meeting, I called her over. "Manager Chu, as of today, you're promoted to Deputy Director of Marketing. You'll report directly to Director Wang." The people who hadn't left the conference room all looked over. Chu Yue's eyes widened. "Mr. Gu, I don't have that much experience yet. Your ability is enough." I cut her off. "Keep up the good work." She took a deep breath and nodded solemnly. "Thank you, Mr. Gu. I won't let you down." Over the next 2 weeks, rumors started spreading around the company about me and Chu Yue. Some said I was just looking out for an old friend. Others said the way I looked at her wasn't normal. Truth be told, I was observing her. Chu Yue worked like her life depended on it. She was usually the last one to leave the office. The team she led saw a significant boost in efficiency, and several projects were completed ahead of schedule. More importantly, she never acted like those other women, deliberately trying to use quirky antics to get my attention. Friday night, I worked overtime until 9 p.m. When I left my office, I noticed the lights in the marketing department were still on. Chu Yue was sitting at her desk, staring intently at her screen. I walked over. It wasn't until I was right next to her that she startled and looked up. Mr. Gu, you haven't left yet? I still have some unfinished projects. With faint dark circles under her eyes, she massaged her temples. I checked my watch and saw how late it was. I invited her to grab a bite, and she agreed. We went to a Western restaurant near the company. After ordering, she seemed a bit stiff. Relax. We're off the clock now. I'm used to it. At the company, I'm always wound up tight as a string. Why push yourself so hard? I want to prove myself. Maybe you don't remember, Mr. Gu, but back in high school, I was the poor kid. I could only attend school because of a scholarship. Back then, I told myself I absolutely had to rise above it all. I couldn't let my family live in poverty anymore. I remembered the original novel mentioning this. Chu Yue's family background was very tough. Her father died early and her mother worked as a cleaner to support her education. She relied on her own hard work to get into a prestigious university, stepped into the corporate world, and climbed the ladder step by step. You've done very well. She looked up at me, a flicker of some unreadable emotion in her eyes. Thank you. As dinner was coming to an end, her phone rang. She glanced at it, her expression shifting slightly. What's wrong? Nothing. Just a spam call. She hung up, but the phone quickly rang again. Answer it. She hesitated for a moment. Mom, I told you, stop calling. What? He's back again. Did you call the police? Okay. I'll be right there. She hung up the phone, her face pale. I'm sorry, Director Gu. Something came up at home. I have to go. I'll drive you. No need. I'll catch a cab. It's hard to get a cab at this hour. Let's go. Once in the car, Chu Yue kept staring out the window, her fingers gripping her bag strapped tightly. I asked for the address, and she gave me the name of an old apartment complex. What happened? It's my stepfather. He's back demanding money from my mom again. Whenever he gets drunk, he smashes things. The original novel mentioned this. Chu Yue's mother remarried, but not to a good man. Her stepfather was an alcoholic who abused them. After she started working, Chu Yue always wanted to move her mother out, but her mother was always too soft-hearted. Do you need help? I can handle it myself. I'm used to it. As the car pulled up to the complex gates, we could already hear shouting from inside. Chu Yue threw the car door open and ran in. I followed her. A few people had gathered at the bottom of the rundown building. A middle-aged man, reeking of alcohol, was screaming at a frail woman. He still had a liquor bottle in his hand. Mom Chu Yue rushed over and shielded her mother. What are you doing here again? Get out! Oh, the good daughter is back! The man bared his teeth in a nasty grin. Perfect timing. Hand over the cash. You work at a big company, make a lot of money. What's wrong with showing me a little filial piety? I'm not giving you a single cent. If you don't leave, I'm calling the cops. Call the cops? I'm beating my own wife. You think the cops care? The man raised the liquor bottle. I stepped forward and blocked Chu Yue, grabbing the man's arm. Who the hell are you, Mr. Shin? Your behavior just now constitutes disturbing the peace and threatening someone's personal safety. If you leave now, I can let this slide. Boss, huh? You've got money, don't you? Then have your employees show me some respect instead. Otherwise, I'll come to your company and make a scene. Tell everyone she seduced her boss. Before he could finish, I grabbed the wrist he was holding the bottle with and twisted it back. The wine bottle fell to the floor and shattered. He cried out in pain. Go ahead and try. Let's see if you're better at making a scene or if my two legal teams are more formidable. A few security guards ran over. I just called them from the car. Please escort this gentleman out. And from now on, he's not allowed in this area. If he comes back to cause trouble, call the police directly. The man was still cursing as he was dragged away. Chu Yue's mother just kept crying. I turned to leave. Chu Yue called out to me, Tiogu, thank you for handling my family matter. Don't be late on Monday. With that, I left. On Sunday night, I got a call from Shen Qingli. Lin Yuan, are you free tomorrow night? I want to talk to you. I have to meet a few clients tomorrow. It might be very late. Then I'll wait for you, no matter how late. I remember this. According to the original plot, after the engagement party incident, Shen Qingli was supposed to be entangled with Zhou Jingming for a while. Hearing her now, has she already seen the light? The next evening, at 10 o'clock, I returned to the old house. I found Shen Qingli sitting in the living room. She was wearing simple loungewear. Her bare face was a stark contrast to her usual polished appearance. You're back. She stood up. Have you eaten? I made a late-night snack. I've already eaten. What's up? She sat down opposite me, her hands clasped together. I want to formally apologize for what happened at the engagement party, and thank you for not making things difficult for me back then. What's in the past is in the past. I've thought a lot since that day. I've always lived in my own delusions, thinking that love had to be passionate, reckless, and all-consuming. But the truth is, Chu Jingming was just using me. As for you, she looked up at me. You gave me the utmost respect. I know our marriage is just a business alliance, but I'm willing to try my best to be a good wife. If you're willing to give our relationship a chance, according to the original plot, I should be moved by her sudden realization right now and start truly falling in love with her. But right now, I just feel that everything is going way too smoothly, just like a script. I need some time to think. It's not that you're not good enough, it's just that I need to figure out what kind of marriage is truly best for both of us. A hint of disappointment flashed in her eyes, but she still nodded. I understand. For now, let's just get along as friends. No need to force anything. She forced a smile. Okay. After that, Shen Qingli really stopped taking the initiative to approach me. She went back to working at her art gallery. Occasionally, she'd send me info about her exhibitions, and I would reply politely. Our relationship maintained a polite, balanced distance. As for Chu Yue, ever since that night, she worked even more desperately. Several proposals she submitted were all approved by the board of directors. Among them was a promotional campaign that even boosted sales by 15%. At the board meeting, Director Wang proposed promoting Chu Yue to marketing director, while he himself would step back into a secondary role. A few other directors chimed in. Deputy Director Chu is indeed very outstanding, but she's still young after all. Will the pressure of being a director be too much for her? An older director raised his doubts. I spoke up. Pressure is the catalyst for growth. I support this proposal. The motion passes. Congratulations, Director Chu. Thank you for your trust, CEO Gu. I'll work even harder. I believe in you. I pushed a file across the table. This is the key project for the next quarter. You'll be in charge. The budget and team are yours to decide. She opened the file, her eyes lighting up. I've been following this project for a long time. I already have a few initial ideas. She talked non-stop for a while, her eyes gleaming with excitement. In that moment, Chu Yue overlapped with the image of the high school girl who was always buried in her books in the library, studying diligently. Go with your ideas. If you need any support, come directly to me. Yes, sir. She hugged the file and practically skipped out of the office. After she left, I leaned back in my chair. For the first time in this world, I felt a slight sense of relief. Finally, there was a character who lived by normal logic and was working hard, but the peace didn't last long. The receptionist called. Her voice was frantic. CEO Gu, there's a woman with 3 children causing a scene in the lobby. She says she wants to see you. She says she's the mother of your children. My heart sank. When I got downstairs, a crowd had already gathered in the lobby. Lin Sufen was sitting on the floor, crying. 3 children stood beside her. The oldest looked to be about 10, while the youngest, only 5 or 6, was crying along with her. Gu Lin Yuan, you finally decided to see me. Seeing me, Lin Sufen scrambled to her feet. She lunged forward, but was blocked by security. You heartless man! You used us and then abandoned us! The surrounding employees started whispering. I scanned the room. My voice wasn't loud, but it was clear. Everyone, back to your workstations. Manager Chen, call the police. The crowd dispersed a little, but a few still lingered at a distance, watching. Everyone, look, this is your big boss. I gave him 3 children, and now he won't even acknowledge them. I lost my job. My kids have to go to school, they have to eat, and he won't give us a single cent, Ms. Lin. First, you and I have no relationship whatsoever. Second, you were fired for poor performance. Third, if you continue with these slanderous accusations, my lawyer will be in contact with you. I have proof. She pulled a photo from her bag and held it up. Everyone, look, this is an intimate photo of me and him. The photo was from when I helped her up. The angle was deliberately taken to make it look like we were embracing, but I remember it very clearly. She had almost fallen, and I just put out a hand to steady her. The entire interaction lasted less than 3 seconds. Pull up the security footage and display it on the main screen. The screen in the lobby lit up and played the recording from that day. The image was crystal clear. Lin Sifen tripped on her own. I caught her by the arm. She then tried to fall into me. I took a step back, let go, and she fell to the ground. The whole 30-second sequence was perfectly clear. Lin Sufen's face turned pale. As for the children you mentioned, do we need to arrange a paternity test? I can have it done right now. Her lips trembled. The police arrived. After assessing the situation, one officer frowned and said to Lin Sufen, Miss Lin, your actions show signs of extortion and slander. Please come with us. No, I'm not going. Go Lin Yuan, you bastard. This isn't how it's written in the novels. The male lead is supposed to accept the children, and then fall in love with the strong-willed mother. That's how it's supposed to be. She was still screaming as they led her away. I rubbed my forehead. Just how many trashy romance novels has this female lead read? After dealing with that mess, I returned to my office. Secretary Wong brought in a package. There was no sender information. I opened it. Inside was a photograph. It was a picture of me and Chu Yu-wei eating at a restaurant. The angle was suggestive. There was also a printed note. Stay away from her, or you'll face the consequences. I frowned. In the original plot, there was a colleague who had a secret crush on Chu Yu-wei. He was an extremist who would later turn dark and harm her. It seems the plotline is still progressing, just in a different way. I put the photo away without making a fuss. Friday night was the high school reunion. Chu Yu-wei arrived on time. She wore a simple dress, with light makeup. Among the group of former classmates, she didn't stand out too much, but her smile was genuine. "Seogu, you're a big shot now." The old class president raised his glass. "Out of everyone in our class, you're the most successful." I smiled in response. The party was halfway through. A few of the girls gathered around Chu Yu-wei, chatting. "Yue, I heard you're the marketing director at your company now. That's amazing. You were always a top student in high school. It's no surprise you're so successful now." Chu Yu-wei smiled humbly. Just then, a guy approached. It was the old gym class representative, Jeolea. He runs a gym now. "Yue, long time no see. You're looking more beautiful than ever. I hear you're still single? Coincidentally, so am I. Or perhaps she already has plans?" I walked over and stood naturally beside Chu Yu-wei. Zhao Lei froze, looking from me to Chu Yu-wei. He gave a forced laugh. "Oh, is that so? Well, I won't bother you then." He walked away. After he left, Chu Yu-wei said softly, "Seogu, I could have handled that myself, you know." "I know. I just didn't want to see you in an awkward position." She looked up at me. Something flickered in her eyes, but she quickly hid it. After the party ended, I drove Yue home. In the car, she asked, "Seogu, I see. Did you see that photo?" I paused. "What photo?" "Someone sent an anonymous email to me. It was a picture of us at dinner. It told me to stay away from you, or else they'd make it so I couldn't work in this industry anymore." I was silent for a moment. I received a similar one. "Don't worry. I'm not scared." She looked out the window. "I just feel that these people, why can't they put their energy into something productive? Because for them, causing trouble is easier than achieving success." We arrived at her apartment building. She didn't get out of the car right away. "Seogu, there's something I've always wanted to ask you. Why are you so good to me? You help me out of tough spots, you give me opportunities, and now this. Because you got to where you are today through your own abilities. This company, this world, needs more people like you." She looked at me for a few seconds. "Thank you. That answer makes me happier than any compliment." She got out of the car and left. I watched her back disappear into the hallway. For the first time, I felt that maybe in this absurd world, I wasn't completely alone. But peace is always short-lived. Monday morning, as soon as I got to the office, Secretary Wang rushed in, panicked. "Seogu, something's happened. The new project that Director Chu is in charge of. The data was leaked. Our competitor beat us by a day and announced a nearly identical proposal." My heart sank. "Call Chu Yu-wei up here." Chu Yu-wei walked in, looking a bit pale, but still calm. "CEO Gu, I've checked the internal data. There are no traces of external access. The other party either had a coincidence or there's a loophole we haven't discovered yet. The important thing now is how much time we have to salvage this. We have 3 days until the scheduled announcement. Is there enough time to redesign the core components?" "Give me 2 days. My team and I will get it done even if we don't sleep. Go! Use whatever resources you need directly." After she left, I pulled up the files of all the project members. This plot point was also in the original novel. It was caused by a coworker who secretly loved Chu Yu-wei. Love turned into hate, so he sold the company's data to frame Chu Yu-wei. I flipped through the files, my eyes stopping at a name in silence. Data analyst in the marketing department, 32 years old, has been with the company for 5 years. His record was very clean, but there was one note. He was once warned for stalking his ex-girlfriend. I made an internal call. "Assistant Lee, investigate Chen Mo's recent financial situation and social activities. Keep it discreet." By the afternoon, Chu Yue's team had already started making revisions. I went to the marketing department to take a look. Everyone was buried in their work. The atmosphere was tense but orderly. Chu Yue stood in front of the whiteboard, writing something quickly. Her eyes were focused. Seeing me, she nodded, then continued working. At 8 p.m., Assistant Lee brought the report. Chenmo, in the past 2 months, large sums of money were transferred into his account. The source was an overseas account. Last week, he even bought a new car, paid in full. Besides that, the security cameras show that he worked overtime very late last Wednesday night. Before leaving, he went into Director Chu's office. What about the camera in Director Chu's office? It's broken. The maintenance log shows it was reported broken last Tuesday, and it still hasn't been fixed. What a coincidence. Call the police and hand the evidence over to them. What about the project? The project continues. Data theft is a criminal case. We'll just do our jobs. The next morning, the police took Chenmo away. At first, he denied it, but faced with the evidence, he quickly confessed it was indeed him who copied the data from Chu Yue's office and sold it to our competitor. The project team's morale took a huge hit. Chu Yue led the team, staying up for 2 whole nights. Finally, on the morning of the 3rd day, they completed the new proposal. The press conference was a huge success. The media praised the company for coming up with a better proposal in such a short amount of time. The stock price went up by 5% that day. At the celebration party, Chu Yue was surrounded in the center. Everyone cheered, asking her to give a speech. Her face was a bit flushed as she raised her glass. Thank you, everyone. We succeeded this time because none of us gave up. This glass is to our team spirit. Everyone cheered. She took a sip, her eyes cutting through the crowd to look at me, and she smiled softly. After the party, I drove her home. In the car, she was so exhausted she fell asleep, her head resting against the window. While stopped at a red light, I gently draped my jacket over her. When we arrived at her place, she woke up, looking a bit embarrassed. I'm sorry, I dozed off. Get some good rest, take tomorrow off, no need. There's still a lot of work to do. This is an order. Exhaustion will only lower your efficiency. All right, I'll listen to the boss. She got out of the car, took a few steps, then turned back. Tsukogu, thank you for believing in me. After saying that, she quickly went inside. I watched her back as she left, feeling a sliver of warmth in this world for the very first time. But the joy was short-lived. 2 weeks later, Shen Qingli suddenly came looking for me. Her face was serious. Lin Yuan, there's something I have to tell you. She handed me a stack of documents. I looked into this. My father has been in private contact with several shareholders. It seems he's plotting something. I flipped through the documents. They were records of financial transactions and meeting minutes. Inside the Shen group, there seems to be a disagreement. A faction wants to terminate the partnership with our company and switch to another company. Why are you telling me all this? After all, it's your family's company. Because I don't want to be a pawn. I've thought a lot since the engagement party. My father values profits over my happiness. If the company collapses, he wouldn't hesitate to marry me off to someone else. You're very clear-headed. I have to be. This world, no, I should say, in this novel, female characters are either blindly in love or vicious and scheming. I want to take a third path, relying on myself. I looked at her, a bit surprised. Shen Qingli, the hopelessly devoted lady in the original story, could actually say something like this. I'll keep an eye out. Thank you for the heads up. After she left, I handed the documents to Assistant Lee. Lee, investigate all the details thoroughly. 3 days later, the investigation results came in. There was indeed turmoil within the Shen Corporation. The ringleader was Shen Qingli's uncle, Shen Wanshan. He wanted to seize power. So he wanted to sabotage the partnership with the Go Corporation to strike a blow to the prestige of Shen Qingli's father, Shen Wanhai. What was more troublesome was that a few shareholders in our company were also in contact with Shen Wanshan. The board of directors was about to face a shakeup. Sure enough, at the meeting the following week, Shen Wanshan attended as the representative of the Shen Corporation. Shen Wanhai was absent due to illness. Chairman Gu, regarding the joint project with the Shen Corporation, we believe it needs to be reevaluated. A shareholder spoke up. With the current progress, costs have exceeded the budget. The Shen Corporation has also expressed concerns. What about the data? The CFO opened the report. I took one look and immediately spotted the problem. The data had been tampered with. This report is different from last week's. Let me see. The meeting room instantly fell silent. Chairman Gu, data doesn't lie. Data doesn't. But people do. I switched the display screen, comparing the original data with the altered data. Director Wang, care to explain? CFO Wang Ming's face changed color. This might be a system error. A system error that, coincidentally, reduced all key metrics by exactly 20%. Assistant Lee, bring out the evidence. Photos and documents appeared on the big screen, meetings between Wang Ming and Shen Wanchen, money transfer records, and even text messages discussing how to short the GU Corporation stock. The meeting room erupted in an uproar. Call the police. Wang Ming was arrested. The other involved shareholders turned pale. Shen Wanchen tried to keep his composure. Chairman Gu, this was Wang Ming's personal doing. It has nothing to do with the Shen Corporation. Oh, really? Then explain why the company registered under your name was shorting GU Corporation stock? Shen Wanchen was left speechless. Today's meeting is adjourned. Mr. Shen, go back and tell Shen Wanhai if he still wants to collaborate, he needs to come see me in person tomorrow. Otherwise, the GU Corporation will terminate all partnerships with the Shen Corporation and pursue legal action. After work, Chu Yue stood waiting for me outside the vice president's office. The marketing department needs to redo the budget. Let's talk inside. Closing the door, she asked in a low voice, "Is the situation bad?" "It's under control. Just clearing out a few parasites." "That's good. What do you need me to do?" "Just do your job well. Leave the rest to me." She nodded. As she was leaving, she said, "Chairman Gu, no matter what happens, I will stand by the company." Those words were more reassuring than any other kind of support. The next day, Shen Wanhai arrived with Shen Qingli. He looked terrible. It seemed he was genuinely ill. "Lin Yuan, I'm sorry. It was my poor management. I will handle Wanshan's mess cleanly. Our partnership can still continue, but I have conditions. Name them. First, Shen Wanshan must step down from management. Second, Shen Qingli will take full charge of the joint project. Third, we readjust the share ratio. The GU Corporation must hold the controlling stake." Shen Wanhai hesitated. "Qingli is still young, Dad. For the past 2 months, I've been taking project management courses. I've also sought advice from many seniors in the field. Please give me a chance. I won't let you down." Shen Wanhai looked at his daughter, then looked at me. Finally, he nodded. "Fine. Lin Yuan, I'm entrusting both my daughter and the project to you. Don't let me down." After he left, Shen Qingli stayed behind alone. "Thank you for giving me this opportunity. You earned it yourself. Do a good job." She smiled, and this time, it was a genuine smile. "I will." As she stepped out of the office, she turned her head to look at me. "Lin Yuan, you know what? Sometimes I feel like you don't seem to belong to this world." I froze. "Why?" "Because you're too normal. The men in this world are either CEOs, obsessed with love, or crazy, twisted villains. But you're like a real person." After she left, I stood by the window, in silence for a long time. She was right. I didn't belong to this world to begin with. But maybe exactly because of that, I was able to break the absurd logic of this world. Life returned to normal. Chu Yue's marketing department grew stronger by the day. The project managed by Shen Qingli also got on track. The company cleaned house internally and the stock price rose steadily. I thought I could finally breathe a sigh of relief. But fate's joke wasn't over yet. On a normal Wednesday, I received an anonymous letter. Inside the envelope was just a single photo. It was a photo of me before I transmigrated, back in my old world. The background was my old office. On the back, a single line was written, "I know who you are." Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. Meet me at the cafe on the west side of the city. Come alone. My palms were sweating. There was someone else in this world who knew the truth. At the cafe on Saturday, I met Chen Yan. He told me I wasn't the only transmigrator, and this world was on the verge of collapsing because the plot kept being altered. The seemingly irrational behaviors of the female leads were actually the system's way of maintaining the original logic, enforcing forced corrections. You have to find the 4 key anchors to stabilize this world. Chen Yan handed me a list. There were 3 names on it: Chu Yue, Shen Qingli, Su Wanqing. As for the 4th person, you have to find them yourself. I smiled and didn't take the list. I know who the 4th person is. Leaving the cafe, I stood by the street and made 3 phone calls. I called Chu Yue. "Next Monday, you'll take the position of vice president of the group, fully in charge of the new business division." I called Shen Qingli. "The joint project is being upgraded to an independent subsidiary with you in full control." I called Su Wanqing. The Guar Foundation is officially established. I'm inviting you to be the chief curator." The three women on the other end of the line all fell silent. Then they asked the exact same question. Why? 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 Because this world needs more people who don't live by a script. The final call I made to the butler, Uncle Chen. "The ancient texts left behind by my grandfather. I want to see them tonight." On the other end of the line, the 70-year-old man chuckled softly. "Young master, you finally asked." Late at night, in the study of the old mansion, Uncle Chen pushed in a cart of ancient books. On top was a yellowed notebook. Flipping to the first page, it was the handwriting of my grandfather, Gu Changzong, to the one who comes after. "If you are reading these words, it proves you have realized the illusory nature of this world. I spent my entire life researching and discovered that this world is like a reflection in a mirror. Only the awakened can see through it. Do not cling to your position. Judge me and my old servant Chen." I looked up. Uncle Chen bowed slightly, his clear eyes piercing through time. The old master said, "When the four key anchors return to their positions, the cycle of reincarnation will restart, and this world will truly be free. Young master, you are that mirror." 3 months later, at the annual conference of the Gao Group, Chu Yue, as the youngest vice president in history, announced a transnational cooperation plan. The new energy project presented by Shane Kingley sent shockwaves through the industry. The public welfare art exhibition, planned by Su Wangqing, created a massive buzz. Below the stage, Lin Sufen sat in the corner. She was now the owner of a cleaning company, leading 50 employees, completely independent. She raised her glass to me, the madness gone from her eyes. I stepped onto the stage. I didn't talk about corporate development. I only said one thing. Someone once told me that fate is already written. I don't believe that. Today, everyone present here has proven through their actions that fate is in our own hands.